Hello and welcome to For One Reason or Another, our podcast where we talk about games and have fun.
And we clip the mic with every beat of the drum. We don't have drums though. We have hands.
We bring
it's the illusion of drums. If you didn't tell them that, they wouldn't have known.
We bring deals. We bring impressions. We bring fun stuff.
Wait.
Anything.
We bring impressions?
Yes.
What kind of impressions do we bring? That was Sean Connery. Thank you. I'll be here all week.
I meant
don't.
like, I hate you. Our impressions on the game. We like this game. Let's give our impressions of it.
You're so chill right now.
I am chill. Do you want me to be not chill?
I want you to calm
I'm
down,
not chill.
Connor.
This is the podcast where we just air out, ASMR it. Let's get really deep in this and say, hey, guys.
Can we put some jazz music
Hell
into
no.
this?
Can we play Careless Whisper in the background?
My name. Hi. My name's Brian Moore. I'm here with Mitch O'Tulin.
Yeah, that's unfortunately me.
And Randy Kinnigan.
It's actually Randy Kinnigan. There's no I at the end of my name. Unfortunately, this is me.
You're Randy Harper?
There's not an E at the end of your name either.
Ray Harper? Roy Harper. I'm Arsenal. My God, I'm a superhero. I guess technically not a superhero, more like a armed vigilante.
Sidekick. Who doesn't do as much as the real hero.
He's his own dude.
He's a cool dude, but he doesn't do very much.
Red Hood and the Outlaws does everything.
I only watch TV. That explains.
But
everything.
this is a video game podcast.
Oh yeah,
you can't do that.
Yeah, why are we talking about television and comics and stupid references about things?
Because you somehow compared yourself to Roy Harper?
He started it.
I don't know what I did.
Gerald Way, what's the news?
The
news is, what have you been playing?
I don't know. Brian,
What you been up to?
doing anything? Any PS4 related games that might have come out recently that will never come out on PC?
Why, Mitch? I
Anything like
have
that?
no idea what you could be talking
You guys
about.
talking about Bloodborne?
Yes.
Did I spoil something?
Bloodborne's great.
You guys doing a thing?
Been playing it like every day for the past week, and it's fantastic.
But have you gotten anywhere?
Yeah, I'm 5 bosses in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My brother actually
I think
beat it already?
Wow.
After some research,
and then
though,
you played Bloodborne.
after some research, I think only 2 of them are actual story bosses. The other 3 were optional.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I think it makes you kind of a hard ass.
Because the cleric boss, the technically you would say the first boss, the guy on the bridge.
You don't have to fight him.
Yeah. I beat him and I'm like, yeah. Where does this go?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
What's he guarding? Like bullets
Why
or something?
Why did I do that?
I think he's just guarding a set of bullets, and that's it.
Yeah. So, the last thing I did in that, because my friend brought it over, so I got to play it.
I didn't think you had a PS4.
Was Father Guacamole, Father Gasoline,
Father
Gaston.
Father Guacamole.
No one quite fights like Father Gaston, I'd say.
Father Garcon.
It was not pretty.
No, he's difficult, and then you get him to like a third of his health, and he just becomes more difficult.
But I didn't know, because my friends were confusing me, and they said that you needed your insight to level up. I thought that leveling up was no longer like you need souls and you get level up, but you were leveling up with your insight. The stuff that you get every time you find a boss, you get
and
1.
You were wrong.
And when you kill him, you get 3. And I'm like, that's different, but it's neat because then you kind of scale your leveling. I don't know what else all the souls would be for, but then and it's like, oh no, you level up your souls, and I'm like, I would have pumped all my souls into something then instead of just like running around with those blood. Like, oh boy, sure, I hope I don't die. Oh, I died.
If it makes you feel any better, my friend Al, my roommate, he has Bloodborne, and it was, I guess, his first introduction into the Soul series.
Oh no!
So he didn't know that you use the souls to level up. So he's been on the first hour of the game for a week. Like, he just now figured out, and he never. I mean, I just hear him cussing and screaming. I just figured it's Bloodborne. I didn't understand that he didn't. He's still base level trying to do shit.
Yeah.
He can't.
And that's the thing. I almost beat Father Gas with Gas Bomb. I've given up on the things. Father Gaslight Anthem with just with my Miliquitoast, whatever you want to call it, level 10, whatever you start on character. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not that bad. But I guess if I were to grind and level up like I usually do. Not that I ever do that, but I've been, since playing that, and Bloodborne has got me into the Souls thing. I got back into, because I played Demon Souls, like I bought it when it first came out, because everyone was like, oh, Demon Souls, it's a hard game for hard people, and I'm like, that's weird, but okay. So I checked it out, and it's like, this is difficult, but it's not that tough. So I like went back, and I had apparently done a lot, and the only thing I had left was like 2 bosses, and then the main final boss. But so I beat that actually recently. It was pretty good.
And I've also noticed you playing Dark Souls
I don't
as
know
well.
I don't know if I'm gonna New Game Plus that, because it's kind of if. But yeah, then I was like, okay, it was weird because I was juggling doing Demon Souls and Dark Souls because I didn't know when I was going to end it. But yes, doing Dark Souls now. Just started off from the last character I made because I'm not going to bother trying to fight the Taurus Demon and I killed Capra Demon on my.
The Taurus Demon was pretty easy.
Taurus
The
Demon was
Capra
easy.
Demon was the one that was the bitch for
I
me
beat
the first time.
Capra Demon on my first try.
Like I knew how to fight him. I knew the strategy, and he still killed me in like 3 hits before he could do
Right.
anything.
I knew the strategy too, but it probably still took me 7-8 tries to actually get the strategy.
It took me more than 7 to 8 tries.
I don't want to brag,
I grinded
but
a depressing amount.
Might
before I
be
killed him.
the greatest Soul player that I didn't know, because the same thing happened with the Flame Lurker in Demon Souls. Everyone goes, "Oh, you get to the Flame Lurker, he's gonna suck," and with no knowledge, with minimal knowledge of him, except that he sucked and that he was hard, I went into his boss fight and killed him on the first try.
You know, sometimes
And I'm
that's
like,
all you need to be armed with to win. Just fear. Good old-fashioned fear to motivate you. You don't know what you should be afraid of, just that you should be terrified.
Yeah, that's fair. But otherwise, I haven't really done much else.
Like I said, I've been playing strictly Bloodborne, and it's great. The boss designs are great. The enemy designs are great. I really like how horror-centric it is, and how it's almost like Lovecraftian in a way.
Yeah.
And it's great. I love every second of it.
At first I was really
are just
hesitant
killer.
because like when I watched people play it, I'm like, the animations are really similar. All the UI is the same. It's just another Dark Souls game, but actually getting my hands on it, it's very different. It's a lot more fast paced, and I think that's a lot nicer.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I like Dark Souls, but going through, I'm just like, man, I wish I was kind of going faster. Or I don't want to drop my shield or anything, but I mean, because I like my shield. I'm not good at parrying.
Only chumps use shields, Mitchell.
Well, I'm a chump.
I used a shield.
I use a shield and a spear, so suck it.
I use a just two-handed or one-handed sword.
I was about to say
guts.
real quick, but most of the time I was like a grass crest shield for the stamina bonus, and I usually just ran around with that on my back
That's fair.
to two-hand the Zweihander.
I didn't like two-handed weapons. They were too slow.
Zweihander.
It is Zweihander.
I will forever call it the Zweihander.
Well,
You are forever
you're just gonna
pronouncing
be
it
wrong.
inappropriately.
Yeah.
That's fine. But running around with that +5 lightning, just R2ing everything was great. Wonderful feeling.
Powers
But
are cool.
in Bloodborne, one thing that I really, really like about it that I've noticed is that every weapon is applicable for the whole game. You could switch to this blade that you found 3-4 hours in, or you could keep using the axe from the very beginning as long as you upgrade it. Everything's damage output is about the same. The thing that's different is movesets and what they scale with, and so on and so forth.
That cane is awful. I
Except
chose
the
it
cane.
at first because I'm like, no one ever chooses the cane, and I'm like, I really regret choosing the cane. It's not that great.
But I mean, I really like it. That way, if you find a weapon that fits your playstyle, you can use it for
Yeah.
the whole game if you want to.
And I do like that the weapons are all very varied. Like the cane has like a forward thrust. So if you're kind of in a walled area, you would think that's better. And then it's
Right.
got the whip for more range and like hits multiple people. So it's kind of nice that you do that. And like all the weapons, they're usually, I mean, I think the cleaver is just kind of meh in its design or like its changing thing. But 90% of the weapons are like, these can change for the situation
Right.
instead of just being another attack that's stronger.
Yeah, and it's great. It's because like in Bloodborne, or not Bloodborne, in Dark Souls, say you had multiple weapons in the same weapon category that all basically did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
This I like in that every single one is unique. Its attacks are unique. Yes, there's less weapons in Dark Souls, but everything is different.
I mean,
Yeah.
there were varied weapons in
Right.
the Souls franchise,
Which is
like,
true.
that would have unique movesets and stuff like that, but it wasn't necessarily. It was very few and far between.
Right,
No.
but you know what I mean.
I remember I was going through when I was playing Demon Souls and looking through all the weapons that I got. I'm like, is this is the same weapon as this? It's got that moveset, but this one's kind of different. There's a falchion and a crescent falchion and like a katana, but also the shodel. And it's just I give up after a while because there's so many.
Right.
I believe I was spear and dragon sword, though I didn't really use that. So it was just basically a longsword that caught people on fire. It wasn't that great.
Yeah, watching you play Dark Souls, I noticed you're a big spear player.
Dude, first off, it's an Irish mythology thing because Cuchulainn, Lug, there was another guy, I think Fionn McCool, whatever his name is. All of them spear wielders. So I'm like, yeah,
Ephraim
spears.
from Fire Emblem. He was kind of a hard ass.
Well, I'm sure that he's like, well, whatever.
Whatever.
Complete write-off.
Well, like the weapon in, I don't know how to sell it, and I'm gonna unpronounce it like wrong. I'm gonna unpronounce it. That's how bad it's going to be. That the Gaebolg.
You can't unpronounce that.
GAEBOL. Let me just try that again. GAEBOLG. That weapon, that spear, it's usually like a thunder spear. That's like an Irish mythos thing. Irish mythology is awesome. I'm really surprised that, I mean, on the other hand, I might use it for my own story, so maybe I'm glad that no one else really used it, except for there was like a weird show back in the 90s that was like trying to be Power Rangers, but not. Yeah, that was all Irish stuff.
I remember Knights of Tyranid.
And it was like, that's the only thing I think I've seen that uses that stuff. Everybody's all about the Greek and Roman stuff. Whatever,
Yeah,
whatever,
very prevalent.
Kratos. I don't care.
Rightfully so, though. I mean, Greek mythology is pretty badass.
Well, so is Irish mythology.
It was badass for the first time, not like, you
That's
know.
true. I wish
the
more games focused
17,000
on
time.
Norse.
Fergus.
Norse
Yeah.
Norse would be nice.
You're really
Nah,
using
no,
that.
because
I mean,
that's what Japanese people do. If you want any Tales game, it's always like Yggdrasil is a
Yeah,
big thing.
yeah, that's very true. Tales is
They love
Norse.
they love the Norse mythology.
Mm,
It's just
What about Native American mythology? That's not. really
Ass
used at
Creed.
all.
They don't really. No, they just kind of make up.
Did you just say Ass Creek?
Yes,
Okay.
that's where Assassin's Creed
it's the
is
spin-off
going.
to Twin Peaks. It's just like it's the comedy show. It's kind of the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead of Twin Peaks. It's just like Twin Peaks down there's Ass Creek.
Randy, what have you been playing?
Ever
Anything?
since Fallout 4, well, not necessarily Fallout 4. Well, yeah. Did they? I can't remember what they changed.
No,
the
they
header to.
haven't announced
Was it
anything
just Fallout
yet.
4 or was it Fallout? Like they changed their header or something like that, and then Three Dog has been tweeting, so it kind of got me. in
Like
the mood.
years ago.
Now they're having they're having their own E3 conference though, so
Yeah,
that's
that's
really
it.
the big hint saying, hey, we're gonna show it this year.
Yeah, so it got me a little bit in the mood. So I was playing Fallout 3, and then I kind of wanted more energy weapons, so I've been playing Fallout New Vegas. So I've kind of been swapping back and forth. That's kind of it, really, though. I just started Dead Money before I got here.
Only you
Oh,
played
Dead
on
Money.
the
That
PC,
is-
you could have the Tale of Two Wastelands thing that I never wanted to try because I was afraid it was going to break everything.
What's that?
It's you can play in Fallout New Vegas, but then you can transfer it's like you go to the map of DC and do all the quests there, but it's in like the New Vegas engine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really cool, except I've never heard of like people making it work. It's always just been like, well, it's there, and sometimes it works, and most of the time it crashes. But that, I guess, is just New Vegas
Fun
in a
fact:
nutshell.
there's
yeah,
a
New Vegas crashes.
there-
I've forgotten how much that crashed.
there's a mod for that game that is our hometown.
Yeah, actually.
I haven't played it, but
I know
Very
someone who's
interesting.
friends with the person that made it because I want to say they got picked up by. I don't remember where they got picked up, but after they made it and like it circulated around
Right.
for like a year, they got actually picked up by a company.
oh, nice,
Um,
that's good.
I've always wanted to like
The
look
first
into it.
success story I've heard from Alton.
It's the only one.
There we go.
And we did have that bull shark that got pretty far. I mean, I
A
guess
bull
that's-
shark?
Yeah, it was in the Mississippi. I mean, I guess it's kind of a.
Did we take his testosterone and
There's
then use
the-
it for steroids?
there's the
or
flood of
something?
94.
No, but it took a mini a child's innocence.
There's the flood of '94.
Yeah, the
does
water
that
got
count?
pretty high.
Does that
It
count?
was 93.
Maybe
I
it
don't
was.
know.
I don't
I was
know.
like 2.
yeah, I wasn't.
I didn't die. That's
I
what
didn't.
matters.
I didn't exist yet.
So what do you have to say about it? Shut your
That
goddamn
flood that I
face.
wasn't there for.
Is
'Cause
a
I remember
thing
it
that
so
we
vividly.
can that we can be remembered for.
Yeah, that was 1993.
Gotcha.
Big dumb idiot.
Well,
was too.
I
Big
wasn't alive. Why do
dumb.
you expect me to know when it
You're
was?
mean, Mitch. Mitch is mean today. I'm sorry, Brian. I apologize for him.
He's in grumpy grump mode
I've lost
today.
well, the fact that I called him a big dum is the fact that I can't come up with anything worthwhile to yell at you for. So,
Okay, let's dive into the news. How about that? Will that cheer you up?
About time.
Nothing will cheer me up.
I forgot we even had news.
To
What's
kick
news?
it off, Nintendo had a direct yesterday.
Never heard of them.
Cool.
Did they make cards or something?
Animal Crossing cards. That's actually happening. So, jokes
Yeah,
on
I feel
you.
like that
Did
was
you-
already a thing in the past.
Did you watch it live or did
No,
you
I just-
see just the? Did you watch the whole thing or all the
I didn't-
trailers and stuff?
Yeah, I just saw like the news popping up on websites.
I watched it live and it was okay. Iwata came out. I think he said "Please understand" like twice.
He always
so. Well,
Iwata's
I
a
mean,
good
like
guy.
they never. He always says "Please understand," but this time it was pretty low key. They started out with Smash, which was a big thing.
Of course.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but all I had was just talking about Mewtwo and
Yeah, he has a release date now, from what I understand. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, but
which is probably something you should know because we're the news site. We don't want someone to. I was going to shut off this podcast and then go look at the other stuff and then forget about shutting out the podcast.
keep talking. I've got this.
But yeah, Mewtwo was announced. I don't know the pricing because I didn't care for it because pricing is.
I remember it. I think.
Because it's a Wii U game that I don't have. So and it's a I don't have a Wii U. So whatever. What do I care? They also announced Lucas from Mother 3.
Right.
Except that for some reason he mentioned this guy is from Mother 3, which was only released outside of Japan or was never released outside of Japan. And I was like, that would have been the perfect moment to be like,
Yep. Oh, by the way.
until now.
Mewtwo.
Can you just see that in Iwata's voice? He just like, that has never been released outside Japan.
And then
until now.
Until now.
I picture him saying that, and then Reggie flying in and saying "until now"
Oh, my body isn't ready for this.
with like his eyes wide, and he looks scary, and it's beautiful.
He's sliding on his knees.
Anyway, Mewtwo is available April 15th as a free code for people who have both versions of Super Smash Brothers, and April 28th for everybody else. $3.99 for one system, $4.99 for both.
Yeah, it's all right.
I mean, that's cool that they offer them for like you can get them for both systems for like only $1 more.
And not just
especially if
that,
you have both.
If you that's after if you bought them both after March 31st. If you bought them before that and registered them both, then you get them for free.
It's kind of I
So
like
that's
it,
neat.
but it's kind of iffy. So I don't know. Nintendo has a weird thing where you kind of allow them to do weird stuff like DLC
yeah.
for characters because it's just like it's Nintendo. This is weird.
But I mean, I feel like it's not unheard of for a fighting game to have
fighting
DLC
games
characters.
That,
I mean, Mortal
Smash
Kombat,
fighting
like,
game.
And not just that, I feel like if anything, Smash is like the perfect franchise to do that with.
Yeah,
you know.
they also
it's
announced.
kind of a huge library, yeah.
Speaking of that, they announced a thing where they have a website now. You can cast your ballot.
Really?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
write-in thing where you
I
say,
did that.
I want this character. He's in this game. Here's why I want them.
I did that.
I love it because a lot of people are pushing for Wonder Red, and I think that's great.
Wonder Red.
Who's
He's
that?
from the Wonderful 101.
Oh, okay. I actually I did that. I submitted in for Bayonetta.
I don't know. It's just a little too. I mean, Zero Samus is there, but she's still kind of toned down, and the Wii U trainer has a lot. The Wii Fit trainer has a lot of fan art, but it's only fan art.
Right.
A lot of it, and it's great. But Bayonetta might be a little too much, like in that.
I don't know. I feel like
Don't want to explain that to
feel
your
like it could work.
kids. Why is that
And like
lady
I feel like there are
pole
certain
dancing?
characters, like whenever they announced Solid Snake for the last iteration, I was kind of just like, that's cool, but what could he practically really do?
Well,
and
I
feel
liked Snake. The thing I didn't like is that they're like, we can't have guns, but we can have explosives, and I'm like, why not make a trank gun or something?
I
Like,
feel like that would have been very, very
I think
stun someone for 3
I think the
seconds.
difference here is that Bayonetta is a Nintendo exclusive now. You know,
Yeah.
Bayonetta 2 was Nintendo Wii U only. I think that makes her very viable, in my personal opinion.
yeah, but I don't.
I'm
agree
actually
with it.
still polling for
If
Mario's
there's
Kart.
only, yeah, I think the example that they used was like, can I please have Cat Mario? And so I feel like this is just gonna become the bullcrap excuse. It's like people ask for this clone character.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. No, I want unique ones. I think that would fit it best.
Let's get more sword users. Everyone
Now,
wants more sword
Granted,
users.
then my most used character in Smash 4 is the Marth clone, Lucina.
Right.
I do happen to use a
You
clone
loser.
myself. What happened
Let's
next?
see. I don't remember everything in chronological order. They talked about Mario Maker, which they
Right.
did already before, But
Yeah, didn't they mention something about being able to like share your levels and stuff? I'm pretty sure we talked about that.
Yeah. So it's just basically the big thing. Also, amiibos
Oh
everywhere.
my God.
There's not only like all the
Fun fact: today is April 2nd. Jigglypuff went up about I don't know 2-3 hours ago. Yeah, she sold out of pre-orders less than 5 minutes after that.
Impressive.
She's
Only
a Target
because
exclusive is the
Jigglypuff's
problem.
really-
Yeah, she's Target exclusive, so that's the issue.
Right. Yeah. It was pretty much every time they announced or were talking about a game at the end, they're like, also amiibos.
Yeah, they announced it for a lot of
Yoshi
them.
yarn thing that I didn't really care about. You get an amiibo where you can have a second one follow you, and it's like, I mean, okay.
Yeah, I saw the 3 amiibo for it. They've got 3 different colored Yoshis, and
they're like yarn, which is
Yeah.
cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's still.
Like the in-game character is like yarn.
Well, yeah, the whole thing is like a yarn adventure thing. It
Oh,
looks
yeah.
really pretty because it's all a nice style. But it's not like a statue; it's a plush with a weird.
Oh.
yeah, the amiibo.
It's
is
got a weird
plush.
like the stamp or the stamp thing is like its weird butthole. It's kind of that's the most questionable thing. I guess where else are you gonna put a stamp for that? It's just kind of like
They
okay,
also
don't look under there.
I also remember them talking about a Splatoon amiibo as well.
Yes, yeah, they mentioned Splatoon, but I'll get to that in a second because that's also down the line.
All right.
They talked about Xenoblade Chronicles for the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
It looks pretty good. It's coming out this week.
Yeah.
It's coming out this
That one's,
month. So
that one's
I mean,
iffy,
I think they were
I
just
guess.
kind of already. I played it on an emulator, and it was pretty. It's pretty fun, but you have to kind of do the main quest or else you'll get bogged down by the side
Right,
quests
I hear
and
there's a
burned
lot
out, and
of
it's just
them.
like this is fun, but man, does it feel kind of off.
Yeah.
But once you get into, on the other hand, once you get into the game, it's really fun. But once you stop playing and go back to it, like a week later, you go, God, I don't remember how to do any of this stuff. So there's that as well. But it looks pretty cool. It's only for the new 3DS.
Which is weird, I think.
And well, it's because like processor and the C
Right.
stick and all that. But I don't know how I'd take that. I don't think I could handle, even though the screen is pretty big. It's still like really compressed, and it's like,
yeah, I was
ugh.
gonna say it's very low.
I don't know if I
resolution.
want that.
I think it's like in the 300s.
That was half the reason people wanted it on the Dolphin was so that you could up-res the textures and make
Right.
it look really 1080p,
Right.
60 frame per second, whatever, mumbo jumbo, 5K. Next up was, I believe, I don't know, I can't remember if they talked about Splatoon, but I'll say it. Splatoon, talking about there's like a single player thing that they have now where you fight other squids, but they're different. They look,
Right.
they don't look like the things. And multiplayer stuff. It looks really fun. And amiibos. You can
Yep.
buy a pack of the Squid Boy and Squid Girl and another squid, and that's the thing. Or you could get them separately.
Yeah, I think the regular squid one is exclusive to the pack though.
Right. And the squid, like the amiibos in the game, they give you missions, kind of like daily challenges,
Right.
which is neat. But it's like, why not just have that regularly? Next, I believe was that when they announced Persona? Well, they showed a trailer. Starts off with the Atlas, and then it goes into it, and you look at it and you go, "Is this a Persona game? Is this
Yeah, it looks very.
there's high school shenanigans going on and people summoning stuff and anime all over the place?" And it turns out it's like, no, this is Shin Megami Tensei / Fire Emblem, which I couldn't really understand because I
Me
didn't.
neither.
Just
Like-
because I haven't played a lot of Fire Emblem games or much at all.
Right.
So I'm like, I can't connect that.
It looks very, very influenced by both of them, but it just looks so different.
The battle system
the
is
gameplay just looks
definitely
so-
Shin Megami.
Right.
Like, the thing that I thought, one of the gameplay shots that they had, the very brief one, it looks like you set up all your attacks and then they go in an order rather than
Right.
guy attacks, he does his thing, then the next person goes. So it'd be really cool, like, set up things depending on your character's speed. I guess that would be a strategy thing. I don't think there was any amiibos announced for that, but we'll just have to wait for that.
Right.
Uh,
We know it'll happen.
yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'll kill for that Lucina Persona whatever figure. Lady has like 8 hairbands in her hair. It's like
Yeah, it's very Japanese.
So, well, I mean, Tetsu Nomura, whatever, he standardized belts and zippers for characters. So they're like, how do we differentiate them now?
Hair
decorations. Yeah. That's good enough. Like 7's fine. Then I think they started talking about Fire Emblem.
Oh my god.
I kind of find it. I like it. It looks really neat.
Right,
I find it weird though that they called it
if
every time. Well, no, that's. I don't know where that's coming from.
That's coming from Shin Megami Tensei.
Okay.
Because there was a Shin Megami game called Shin Megami Tensei If.
No, that's like Fire. That's the. Is that the Fire Emblem and Tensei game?
No, the one we just talked about was that. I'm guessing the If and the subtitle is influenced by them as well. I'm not sure 100%.
I think it's more like the fact that
opinion.
it's the black and white story going on.
Yeah.
But every time in the Nintendo Direct, they're like, new Fire Emblem game. The Fire Emblem was always just it was probably a tentative title, but it was always just Fire Emblem, which I really hope they go for Fire Emblem because I really hate games that do that. That go Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider. Do you mean the reboot or like the one for the PlayStation? Or it looks really cool. There is the not Japanese guys fighting against the not European guys. And I mean, you're a guy that plays Fire Emblem, right? So there's always like fake, or obviously it's not set in historical lands, but like
you can always tell like which parties are kind of influenced by what, even if it's not necessarily like country specific, but just like sort of like area specific with like kingdoms and stuff like that in the past.
Are all the games like connected in a way, or? I
haven't necessarily played every Fire Emblem game. Fire Emblem.
How could you? Most of them aren't exported here.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I played a lot of the older ones on emulators and stuff, though. Fire Emblem 6 and 7. 7 was the first one we got over here. 7 is a sequel to 6. They're related. Sacred Stones on the Game Boy isn't related. Shadow Dragon. The first one is like related to I think like the second and the third. I'm not like completely sure on chronology though.
So though they're like, but it's like just the theme is mostly the thing that stays.
Right.
Okay, then that's
kind of like Final Fantasy in a way.
Right. So that's, I mean, no big deal thing for that. I did like the fact that they said, hey, you Awakening was the first one you make your character, but he's kind of just a sideshow to Chrom.
Right.
Which is funny considering the trailer for Smash when he's just like, I'm here and Chrom is.
Yep.
I bet everyone would want Chrom to be there, another Blade user.
I bet he's heavily requested for Smash.
But so instead, you're now the main guy, and it was something like you were raised by not Japan. I believe they're called Hoshido. It's probably got something. It's probably something similar to like
Japanese.
Bushido, and then but raised by Nohr, Nohr. Probably try and go for like Noir because it's black, which is the not Europe setting, and it's like which side do you choose? You can only choose one path, but I don't know. It'll probably do in some weird shenanigans. I mean, what Awakening spoilers, but the thing about that was like time travel or some bull crap like that, because you like get your people friendly enough, and then through time travel their kid pops out, and it's like, what?
And then that kid becomes one of your warriors.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, you're friendly. That just seems weird to me. That it's just like if you're just like, hi, I'm your friend now. Oh, that's cool. And then your kid shows up and is like, hey, I'm your child. And you're like, what?
When did you come about?
When are we going to do that part? I want to get...
One thing that's...
I'm sure there's plenty of dojos
with this whole Fire Emblem business, basically they announced 2 games, White and Black. Each one...
I don't think it's that. I think it's one game that has just 2 branches. I don't think there's going to be Black and White like...
There are 2 games. Each one is paid for a certain amount. And then if you buy one, you can buy the other at a discounted rate. And then there's a third campaign that you can buy.
I was
going to
say they're probably interlocking more than anything else.
That one's an also extra amount.
I find that weird.
You can buy the limited edition that comes with all of them.
Where are you getting this?
Right here on the internet.
Source.
You can't believe anything on the
I
internet.
believe him just for the fact that he said the internet.
2 versions, 4,700 yen game, 1,852 yen for the other version as DLC, 1,852 for the third DLC.
All right, well, I don't think they talked about that during the press conference.
It'll
which
probably
is
be
kind
like
of
splitter campaigns that run parallel to the main story of the original game.
That kind of feels like VS though.
The versions are White Kingdom and Black Kingdom.
I was
with
excited
the
for
third DLC
one game.
campaign.
After that, I think they talked about Splatoon, and then there were indie games, but none of them were very interesting because they were most like ports. Octodad getting released for the Wii U.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it doesn't
kinda cool.
it doesn't use anything different. It's just
Right.
Octodad.
Octodad is a neat game.
But I believe, crap, they didn't talk anything about Zelda Wii U. Probably because it got delayed, so they're kind of
Yeah, I think because they've already mentioned that at E3 this year, they're going to focus strictly on 2015 games. So I
Right.
don't see them talking about anything later than that.
And
right
yeah,
now.
there was no talking about Star Fox or anything like that.
I think Star Fox is going to be a big E3 thing.
I feel like there's something else that was going on, but maybe it's just me wanting something else to happen.
It's Nintendo. So
64
probably
games and DS games coming
That
to
was
Virtual
okay.
Console.
It does totally go with what I was saying when they needed a console thing, a console to handheld thing, so that you can play DS games
Yeah.
on there. It kind of sucks that you can't just transfer your DS games. I know that there's like a one-time transfer fee from like your Wii to the Wii U for certain
Right.
games. That's like a really cheap price, and that's cool. But there were also not free to play, but free to play games for the 3DS. That was like Match 3 stuff and other junk like that. It was all right. Altogether, neat considering that it was kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
But
Also, they showed, from what I understand, Animal Crossing stuff. Like we said, they got.
oh
trading cards
yeah,
for
that was the last thing. Mario. Then I just didn't care about it because it was like, and finally, Mario Kart 8 DLC. And I'm like,
Yeah, 200cc.
that's
for Mario
cool.
Kart
But
8.
I was really bad at it to begin with, so I don't know why.
Mario Kart kind of just it is there to lower my self-esteem against a computer or raise my self-esteem against my friends or occasionally a fun drinking game.
So
Otherwise, I don't really play it.
with this 200cc,
Don't drink and drive, but drink and play Mario Kart.
is there also
Well,
going to
yeah,
be
that's
Sonic
basically how it
DLC
works.
because he's got to go fast?
Well, no.
No.
I
Man,
don't-
I can't use my Sonic amiibo with Mario Kart then.
I've
It's unfortunate. That would be cool
only
as a
you could-
DLC
if
character,
only-
Sonic on his shoes. He doesn't have a car. he just
if only
runs.
Yeah,
there was
that'd
like
be
a
neat.
game where Sonic raced with a bunch of all-stars.
Random.
I feel like
I actually just saw somebody like this. There was this thread on the internet today about
Why the yell of random? There's just
It is
this
random.
is random.
That's also true. But there was this post on a forum today where they were talking about things in games that are just completely unnecessary. And one's like, why does Sonic drive a car in racing games?
his feet get tired.
Or,
Yeah.
He has to make it fair. For
That's
everyone
like
else.
think of does the Flash run everywhere just because he can? I think he would be the kind of guy that would like to take the subway occasionally.
Another one that they pointed out that I thought was funny is why is the one because in Mega Man games the goal is to get every time you beat a boss you get his weapon and you use all of them together to beat the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the final boss weak to only one weapon and why doesn't he just take that guy and hide him in his basement or something?
Because it's a video game. And
I was
that's
about to say
not
because
fair.
plot.
I know, but that was the kind
And
of thing they were
realistically,
going for.
I'm sure that Wily didn't build that weakness necessarily into the robot, and it's kind of an accident. And you're kind of supposed to figure it out through trial and error.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
Mega Man's just
it's punishment, really.
really good at his job.
All right, so that's the Nintendo spree of news.
That was like our entire show.
Thank you. I did all the work because
In
I
other-
actually watched it.
In other news, Devil May Cry 4 Special Editions releasing on June 18th and 24th for PC with Virgil, Trish, and Lady for previous games, all as playable characters.
Yeah, I'm excited because it's more Devil May Cry 4. Maybe
Right.
they'll actually finish the game this time.
Virgil's a badass.
Yes. He looks like he plays a little differently than he did in Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition.
That'd be nice.
But he still has a lot of the same stuff. Like, he still has Force Edge. I find that weird just because he has Force Edge and Trish has Sparta, which is the same sword. It's just all gross and soul edgy. But it's really cool. and they talked about costumes and stuff. And one of my favorite things is the concept art book for Devil May Cry 4. There's a lot of stuff that they did to like mess with costumes for other characters before settling on the last one. But they didn't have any costumes in the game. And I'm like, man, if they even chose like half of these just to render in, I would be in love with that. And I believe they said that all the cutscenes are going to have the costumes in it, which is one of the...
That is seriously one of my biggest pet peeves in a game.
Yeah.
I love it when they add the costume.
Or even worse, whenever like
Boy, I
you
hope
have
that's
the ultimate weapon and the cutscene at the very end of the game is still the starter pistol.
I always wanted to use the starter pistol in Resident Evil 4 just because he always has it. I just find that weird because it's like, I have Street Sweeper, I got the rocket launcher, I got the semi-automatic rifle, but I'll choose my pistol at you, Sadler.
Unlimited 3-round
Got
burst
you.
pistol, but you're still going to use
I mean, if
this
you're bad
pistol.
at the games, then sure.
I mean, it has a really high critical hit rating, though. The first weapons always did. Like, they did kind of fare pretty well if you max them all the way out.
I guess.
Number 3, Rainbow Six Siege has had a lot of gameplay released. Like, I just watched like a 30-minute video the other day. The closed alpha, and it looks great.
I watched a guy play it, and I'm going to regurgitate his stuff. It looks really great, and the destruction is amazing. Like, I love the fact that not only destruction good, but it's also kind of bad. Like, everyone talks about Battlefield Bad Company 2, and I played a lot of the multiplayer.
As did I.
But I never used the destruction like smart. Like, it was always just like, yeah, you can blow up that building. Sometimes there are people in it and you blow it up and they're dead inside the building. That's cool. But I never thought like blow a wall up and then use that as a new vantage point. It's really cool.
Could you even potentially like seal off an exit?
There are some like they like barricade stuff. It's really cool. The way that like the siege, at least for the alpha start out, is that the hostages or the hostage takers have like a minute to set up their spot and like barricade up and set traps. And in that same time, the SWAT team sends out little drones that they can like look around and see stuff. They're on little like wheels. It's really cool looking. But if they get found, they can get shot and die, and then they don't have that. But then they choose where to like breach in, and then they all go out. And it's very cool.
Yeah, it's very, like, just watching the videos, it just looks so good.
Yeah. It looks very arcadey, though.
And I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it a little. I don't know. I straddle. It's just that we have so many arcade shooters and very simple things. Duty. And but we also have hyper realistic Arma 3 that just like I don't know what's going. There, your battles are from a kilometer away, and you just kind of shoot and go. I hope I hit somebody. Yeah. Which is, I guess, how real life battles work. But it's kind of just like it's good. The sort of hybrid is there. I feel like just because it's an alpha, they have like options that you can change. But there's some stuff that's just kind of weird to me. That like the hit marker and the recoil is really. It seemed like very. Not it wasn't there. Like there was recoil, but it wasn't as bad as you think. But I don't know, I could chalk that up to them being the SWAT team guys, so it's fine. The ammo count was kind of weird. Like it's just like it's very high ammo count, so you can just kind of spray and pray.
I think it kind of encourages that, though, with them wanting you to shoot through the walls to see if you hit somebody.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't really help if you... Because that was another thing in Battlefield, that you would, like, waste all your ammo trying to run through, like, to destroy a building. You're like, well, that was totally a waste of time.
Right.
But it looks really neat. I would like to get back into Rainbow Six Vegas, because I never got too far into that. Or really much at all.
That was fun.
It looks neat. And I think there's a co-op thing.
There was. And the co-op in Vegas was actually a lot. Like, the story campaign, I mean, I'm not going to say it was anything different. But
it's Tom Clancy.
The co-op was something that, like, me and my friends would literally spend hours playing with each other.
Right.
Like, just going back and forth.
I smell a Let's Play.
It's a different series, but I always enjoyed the Chaos Theory, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory's multiplayer. The co-op.
Yeah. They brought back Spies and Mercs for Blacklist, and everyone said it was
good, though.
Everyone said it was pretty nice. But I don't
like the way they went with that series. personally.
Nah.
That's
The
just
only
me.
thing I don't like is that, and Michael Ironside actually mentioned it in an interview, is like they're going motion capture. So I'm an old 65-year-old man at
Right.
that time, so I can't really do any of that. But I wish they had, instead of just being like, let's make a new Sam Fisher, kind of like James Bonded it and was like,
Yeah.
you're Sam Fisher now,
Yeah.
instead of I've been Sam Fisher this whole time.
Yeah.
I just
that'd be
de-aged from being really old.
right.
But yeah.
Oh well. Number 4. Dirt developer Codemasters has been hit with layoffs, putting the team at under 20 people. That delays Dirt 4. I really enjoyed the Dirt series.
I can't remember if I have Dirt or Grid that I got from a humble indie bundle.
Dirt.
It was probably Grid.
Yeah, I would think so. But no, Dirt. I enjoy the Dirt games. I don't play them like religiously like I do some other games, Bloodborne. But no, it's fun. My dad and brother always like picking them up whenever they come out. So it's a fun little series to dive into for a little bit.
That's true.
So it's upsetting that it's being delayed, but like every other delay, it's probably for the best. So I'm okay with it. Number 5.
Yes, it was great because Sega did that. It was a Sega thing. I got Alpha Protocol with that, and that was the best purchase. It was another Obsidian game that was really buggy and very bad. Although surprisingly, one of the most recent things, Pillars of Eternity. I want to talk about this just because. Have you heard of it? It's one of the first games that was like really kickstarted around. And it was Obsidian Entertainment went to Kickstarter and said, "Hey, we want to make a Baldur's Gate isometric RPG kind of game."
Oh.
And yeah, I don't remember how much they got, but it just released, and it looks really good. And it's like one of the first things that I saw from Kickstarter that I said, "Man, Kickstarter could be really like a great thing."
Right.
Instead of Kickstarter, oh, I wish I hadn't spent that money on this.
Do you mean like biometric, like how they used to be, like the top down, or?
Yeah, like Diablo or
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate.
I didn't know that happened.
Well, yeah, it just came out last week, I believe, at the time of this recording. It's very interesting, and I don't know if I'd play it only because, on one hand, it's just because I'm not very good at those games. There was a lot of like pausing and selecting your guys to do certain spells.
Oh,
it had a very D&D kind of thing going on, and I'm bad at combat that requires thinking. That's why I just mash buttons. But it's an Obsidian game, and 90% of the Obsidian games that I've played have been amazing.
What all have they done besides New Vegas?
South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is one of their first original IPs. They did KOTOR 2 first,
Alright.
which got pushed forward. No, it got like it.
It's good, but not as good as the first.
Because
one.
a lot of cut content, because they
Yeah.
were like, we need to release this now, and so it was kind of buggy,
So
and
they
there
were
was
playing-
everything, and it was
that was
really
I read an interview about that recently though,
But-
and that wasn't Obsidian's fault.
oh, that's the thing. It's
yeah.
not Obsidian's fault that
Right.
happened, but
It did happen.
and like the storyline in that was really neat because people were like, they made the Sith they made the Jedis not quite as sterling as they are
Right.
all the way. And it's like, that's interesting to do that. And then they did New Vegas, which again got early release. There's a lot of cut content, a lot of Legion stuff that you never get to see.
Yeah.
And it was buggy as all hell, which
Oh,
might
yeah.
half be because of Obsidian and half because it's the Bethesda engine.
Gamebryo.
Yeah, Gamebryo.
Good old
Doesn't
Gamebryo.
work. And then they did Alpha Protocol, which was also buggy, kind of an original IP, but
Got a lot
still
of hype at first. I was really
Yeah.
interested in it. The idea of sort of like, it was like
Mass Effect,
but spy fiction,
James
right?
Bond.
Yeah.
And I played it, and I'm like, this is really great. It's just kind of it's not amazing, but the storyline is good, and I really
Right.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then they did South Park, which I've heard good things about, and I do want to play it, but it's just like, I don't. If people are going to get turned off by the IP because it's like South Park, and I'm not I don't hate South Park, but I'm not like watching it all the time.
Right. Their reaction should be South Park. Yay!
And so now they get to do Pillars of Eternity. I believe Josh Sawyer, Chris Avallone, guys from Fallout, New Vegas, and I believe I think they were with Black Isle, but they're probably not. Don't quote me on that. But guys that did New Vegas, and Josh Sawyer actually made his own New Vegas mod that I changed some stuff around because that was the way that he wanted it to work. It was really neat. So those guys doing a game, they're good writers. I like them. They know how to make characters.
If they wrote New Vegas, then this is definitely something I'm interested in.
New Vegas definitely, the Mojave did have a lot of life in its characters.
Yeah. And that's the thing I really liked about New Vegas with the companion thing. I didn't use a companion in Fallout 3 just because it was like, who are you? I'm Jericho. I'm evil. That's it. And then in, Sharon, what do you do? Nothing. I just sit here and look lumbering.
Yeah, I will give you that. The companions weren't necessarily as fleshed out in Fallout 3, and especially with the addition of the companion wheel.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I really loved
a lot better.
But it was like you could sit there and just talk to them about like, where are you from? And you're like, well, I just grew up here and I do this thing.
And then they would kind of like sort of become friends with you to the point where you'd get like a really cool side quest with him. Then you could fully explore the backstory. And all the backstory is actually really cool.
All the loyalty missions are really fun just because they're sort of hidden. Like they're there and you can talk, and if you go places, but you wouldn't if. It's kind of like where everyone goes, oh, man, I play Skyrim for 500 hours, and I've never noticed this spot.
Yeah.
You could probably play the game a lot and never go, oh, wait, you have a quest?
Well, because it's like each one, it's like you have to
certain parameters.
You have to do their quest, and then you have to, each one has like 3 specifications, and there's like 7 or 8 things that they have to be around for you to do.
Unfortunately, some of those, because of the bugginess, sometimes they don't trigger, and it's just like, man.
That happened to me with the scientist.
A good example is
that was what Arcade Gannon was voiced by Zachary Levi of Chuck fame.
Yeah, I remember that.
Actually, all of those guys were like Felicia was Jason, or Felicia Day was Veronica.
I will never forget
Veronica.
Punchy lady.
This goes
Brotherhood
back
of
to
Steel?
Really, I didn't know that.
This goes back to.
Sorry, were you doing something?
This goes back to Fallout 3. I mean, they've had A-listers for these
Liam
games.
Neeson as the dad.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart was the
one.
king, but they're like there for 5 minutes. Like, I'm Patrick Stewart, and I am the king. These are our impressions. I finally get it. And then he died. Then he dies in like 5 minutes. He's like, I'm here for my check.
Oblivion.
I didn't even remember him being in Oblivion. Wow.
Yeah, the king at the beginning.
You probably didn't remember because he died in 5 minutes. You're like, all right, let's go somewhere.
That was Patrick Stewart. Oh my God.
Patrick Stewart.
It has been so long since I played that game.
That is Sean Connery.
I know. That's all I can do is Sean Connery. My secret's out. But I do it damn well, and you cannot disagree.
I can disagree.
Do an impression of
We named the dog Indiana.
Can I hear you do Christopher Walken?
I don't really have a Christopher Walken.
The joke was you were going to do him again.
Oh, well. Let me in on YouTube.
But then you say Christopher Walken.
The Southern Nine. I don't know.
All right. Next.
Danny Trejo was Raul.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious. You're just like, hey, a ghoul that doesn't sound like he smoked 40 packs. It must be Danny Trejo.
I'm pretty sure Spuds McKenzie actually played Dogmeat in Fallout 3.
I believe it.
The funny thing about Raul is he actually like visibly looks worse than most other ghouls in the game.
But he's got that stash, so...
And he's got the good voice.
I will go on and say, whenever I completed his loyalty quest or whatever, I dressed him up in the Bandito outfit.
Oh, you made him be a vaquero.
I never swapped companions after that instance. I just ran around with Raul and his sombrero.
Despite that, I think my favorite companion's Edie.
I do love EDE.
Because it's like, all you do is... And in... I mean, you just said you started Dead Money, but the last...
the fact that ED plays a part in that backstory.
The last DLC, but he has, like, instead of... Like, the dialogue in New Vegas is just, like, him beeping, but in that, every time it has, like, a beep with it's kind of like the Elcor... No, not the Elcor. The big, giant elephant guys in Mass Effect who say their emotion before going on is, like, sad beeping. It's wonderful. I'm sorry, were you doing some sort of news?
I was just about to say something else about New Vegas, but now I can't remember what it was.
Good. News story.
We're derailing by talking about Fallout.
It's not a bad thing.
I'll always derail.
All right, next.
As long as you don't go along the railway that leads to the death clause, then you're dead.
Payday.
No, it leads to this gold. Go there.
It goes to the goal. Follow the goal.
Next, Payday 2 has sold over 9 million units with DLC and over 8 million sales. I didn't know Payday was this big.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I play it all the time with my friends.
I mean, I knew it had a fan base, but jeebus.
I'm a pretty good thief
Jeebus.
to the point where I usually don't even need friends. I can kind of just solo most of the heists.
The thing is that you can't, because
Yeah, I'm
if
talking
you
out my
do
ass.
that, then it's all AI. Granted, they will the AI is pretty good about if you're trying to stealth it, then they'll stay behind and just they have their own idle animations, like where they're just sitting there and smoking. But otherwise, you kind of need friends and you need teamwork to do it. You can't just sort of. I don't even know if there are voice commands, but you need to have a coordination thing of, okay, I'm going to go here and you're going to kill that guy and we're going to hide. Answer that dude's radio so that no one thinks it's up. We only have 4 of those, so worry about that. It's really fun, and it definitely has that Heat feel of it. And I'm not surprised because Overkill does a lot of DLC, which sounds bad, but there's also a lot of free DLC and stuff to the community that keeps it going. It's one of the few games that I can think of that has a community that has granted it's not a competitive multiplayer shooter, but a multiplayer shooter that's been released not recently and
Right.
still has an active multiplayer thing.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm surprised that it is that big.
I believe what were the numbers came out for Halo Master Chief Collection recently, right? And they were in the 10,000s.
What?
Really, really, yeah, really low.
Oh
and it
my
was that
God.
was because of all the
I was about to say,
all the issues and stuff. They totally
Right.
fixed it, but everyone was like, "Oh, I'm just not going to play now." And it's man,
oh my,
it's ridiculous.
They messed up.
I could be talking out
They
my
did.
ass though. So
They
let's
did
just-
screw up big time with that one. The
Yeah.
Halo is something you do not mess up.
I was actually talking about everyone that bought it because why buy a game that you've already bought 4 times? But that's just me.
I don't know because I mean, sure, if you bought the Halo 1 Anniversary Edition, then why would you buy that again? But you get the whole games, but they remade all of the... I don't know if they did it for Halo 3, but they remade
just
all the
2.
Halo
I
2...
thought they just did it for 2.
Yeah, they made all the Halo 2 ones with the guys that did the intro for Star Wars The Old Republic, which was, as everyone said, the only good thing about Star Wars Old Republic was that opening cutscene where made by Bink Video. They also do a lot of other things, and it's gorgeous. So all of those are like that, and it's man, this is a beautiful game.
I just I loved Halo back in the day. It just wasn't aside from the multiplayer, it wasn't really enough for me to really.
You also have to think about the people who've never played those. You know,
like that guy, because he's only 2.
That's true. I forget.
Yeah.
I forget Brian. Brian's a youngin.
and plus I was a PS2 guy, not an Xbox guy. I didn't have Halo.
What is wrong? Well, okay. no.
I mean,
I had a PS2, but I had friends with an Xbox.
the multiplayer was a lot of fun, but now the type of multiplayer that Halo 2 has is almost archaic. Games don't function like that anymore, which I feel
Right.
like going back could be fun, but ultimately it's kind of just playing Perfect Dark. I'm running around picking up a weapon and then dying and picking up another weapon. There's no...
I have 2 sage words of advice. Get good.
Ha!
Add 1 scrub.
I never once said I was bad at it.
No.
I never once said I was bad at it.
I'm thinking that it's kind of implied with the dying all the time, but that's up to your imperative. Nostalgia is a big factor for people that want to play games and really feel alive again. But
It's unfortunate that you have to play Halo 2 to feel alive again, but...
I don't know. Halo 2 was one of those times that custom matches reigned supreme.
Yeah,
you would
that's
come
true.
home and be I mean, Halo 3 kind of had that, but I never had that. My friend talked about how you just would jump from one custom match to another custom match, and then everyone's mic was open and everyone was all chatting and stuff. Halo 3 kind of had that, but it started to get closed off really slowly into little sections. We know a guy from New York. One of my best friends, Billy. That's all I know him as. All we knew is that we played Halo together, and him and his friend Mark, who also lived in New York. And I know this is gonna sound like it's a weird guy from the internet, but they're one of my 2 good friends that we play games with usually, just because we played Halo, and it's that's how friendships are weirdly forged.
I mean, I had 2 Canadian friends on World of Warcraft that I talked to all the time, and then I had I think she was British. I don't really remember because it was on the first Left 4 Dead.
You just said just Canadian.
Well, no, that was that was on World of Warcraft. But I had a British friend on Left 4 Dead that I'd always play with.
I had some RuneScape buddies way back when. back when I was in intermediate school.
You didn't play not Fall. You didn't play Halo 2, but you played RuneScape.
Oh, dude.
I bet he played the weird, like, not the original RuneScape.
You played RuneScape whenever it was easy to play.
No, it was the original. When I was in 4th or 5th grade, I played it all the time.
I remember whenever my brother played RuneScape, like
computer lab time, get everybody together, meet up in RuneScape, let's go do some shit.
You know what was weird is that my dad played RuneScape.
My brother's friend Donald's dad, who was like 70, played RuneScape.
RuneScape was really good.
And knew the creators.
He was like, oh wow, he went like hardcore on mining. That was the weirdest. Like, and I was like, I just mine all day, and I'm like, that's really weird. Okay.
RuneScape's a legitimately good game.
He just really wanted to be a miner. He
wanted
chose
to
the wrong career path.
Well, yeah, no, but he was like mined and he didn't do a lot of the combat stuff, but he did all like the gathering and really got into that. And I'm like, that's cool, I guess, because like MMOs, you can do what you want.
I just remember the first time
I found it weird because he was like better, like his character was a higher level than me because he had done it like so much, but he had to stop because it's like I play this at my lunch break and then I start and it just seeps over into my work time and I'm like, this is bad. I don't think my dad could handle an MMO like a real one.
I just remember the good old days when someone would be like, oh, you want a mithril scimitar? I'll totally trade it to you.
Oh, dude.
Oh, thank you. No.
Gold trimmed armor. Here, take it, and I'll just wait for you. Hey, you logged out. Why are you coming back with my gold trimmed armor? I need that because I just gave you.
Oh my god! All right, next, Josh Hamrick. You might not know this guy, but he made Destiny. He was the lead designer for Destiny. Yeah, he quit Bungie and has joined Bethesda.
Josh Hamlet.
I'm kind of okay with that. Maybe
that could be very, very interesting.
That could be weird.
Right. I'm interested in where this could go.
What else do you know about this guy?
I don't know anything other than he worked for Bungie and designed Destiny.
Do you know if... wait a minute.
Was he instrumental in all the cool, awesome things getting left out of Destiny? Because if so, I don't like him.
What if he was instrumental in trying to get them back in and everybody else told him no?
I don't remember. I'm more interested.
He didn't have enough conviction
just because he was
like him, clearly.
Bungie, that maybe he would be from that he would do stuff in Halo previously, but all it says on this thing is that he was a sandbox designer. I played a lot of sandbox or a Forge. It was really, really silly.
I had a really awesome sandbox when I was like 7. That it was like a giant turtle. I used to play with my trucks in it.
I believe we had a sandbox, but I think we kept leaving it open when it rained and so all the sand. They were like, we're not buying you more sand. But it had like race car tracks that were perfect for Hot Wheels.
That's kind of badass.
I know. I don't remember what happened to it. No, probably got stolen. Like my friend's trampoline got stolen once, and he was like, and that's the thing. He's like, on one hand, how do you do that? On the other hand, I'm not too mad because it's impressive.
Yeah, like it makes an awesome story.
Okay, next. Tekken 7 devs have revealed Jin, Devil Jin, and Josie for the game. Josie has spawned some controversy with people in the Philippines because she's named after like one of their great leaders or something.
Yeah, it's kind of a lazy like naming convention, but I don't know. On one hand, what do you expect from Tekken? It's like it's a lot. It's not as bad as like Mike Tyson's Punch Out in terms of let's see how the stereotypes we can get, but it's not like they go for very interesting. Why is the internet mad though? She is a Hispanic person of color. God, that sounds racist. Why is person of color the preferred term?
I feel like it's not preferred.
It sounds horrible.
That's Tumblrites prefer it. So
Ugh.
that's what but she's like Hispanic, female, doing like kickboxing
very
and stuff.
Strong and independent, probably not like
People said that her moves are very similar to Bruce, the other kickboxer guy, which I could guess maybe. I'm not very good at him, so.
With their kickboxers, that would kind of make sense.
Yeah,
similar moves.
And they do eskrima, I think, or something like that.
Sticks.
Yeah, but that's like if that's a stick thing, then. But they don't usually have Yoshimitsu and Kunimitsu are usually the only people that use weapons, so I don't think that any like weapon based combat. But they're really good about that, like having people from places doing different styles and stuff. So having like a thing. Like the Russian guy, what's his name? Dragonov. He does like, what what is it, Sambo? I think.
The dance.
That's not. Yeah, maybe it's not. I'm gonna.
Oh, Sambo. The yeah, like the really crazy like kill like 15 people with like a knife and they all have weapons or whatever.
Yeah.
Like what they teach your
It's not quite. It's not quite
Isn't it?
Krav Maga, but Krav Maga is just nut punches and eye gouging. It's just like, go for this thing, make an opening, gouge his eyes out. No, you can't. Punch his nuts.
I mean, I did read a manga one time. It was about a guy that he basically did. I don't remember. It was basically like dark kung fu, and his opening move for every fight was he'd fake you out and then like have his other hand shadow the fake, and he'd just like slide it up the bridge of your nose and stab him in the eyes.
That's awful.
It was pretty.
That's horrible.
It was pretty messed up.
Why would you tell me that?
Because you need to know.
Why
am I
You're blind.
Yeah, so that's neat. I didn't see anything about Jin or Devil Jin yet, but I assume it's just going to be the same.
What about Tonic?
I'm kind of interesting. Just get to the story.
All right. Next we have. Do you guys know what Steins Gate is?
I know it's a visual novel, and it got adapted into an anime.
Well, I can say that it's probably one of, if not the best anime I personally have ever watched. It's fantastic.
I know
That's
J.
because you
Michael
haven't watched
Tatum's-
Berserk, Brian.
He's got-
Which I'm going to,
Or
because it's on Netflix now. But anyway, Steins Gate is a visual novel and anime, like Mitch said. It's really focused on time travel. It's having a sequel called Steins Gate Zero. Not much is known other than it taking place in a separate timeline from where the game's air quote true ending is.
What does it do with the time travel? Is it like we do time travel and then we can change stuff around?
It's like this girl dies. The guy discovers he can do time travel.
Spoilers.
Well, this
I
is like the
totally
very
wasn't
first
gonna
episode.
watch it or anything. So.
This is like the very first episode.
I'm now not gonna watch the first episode. I know what happens.
It's just that my friend and I were talking about time travel games that were neat because he likes them. Did you ever see anything about Life is Strange?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I
Because, like, on first glance, it looks like an awful Freaks and Geeks weird indie hipster bullcrap.
Uh-huh.
Because there's people with random colors of hair, all the lovely colors, and awful dialogue. Truly, they use hella. No one uses hella.
Ugh.
That's just
Hey,
but-
people in San Francisco do.
I use hella
yeah,
sarcastically.
probably. But there's time travel involved with it, and it's like a really cool kind of thing that like it's a gameplay mechanic, not just you can control when you do the time travel stuff rather than like, oh, time travel happens and I don't know why.
Right.
And it's cool because you can retroactively do it. Like a guy says, hey, who said this cool quote? And then you go, I don't know. And he said, you idiot. It's this guy. Then you reverse time and said, who said that cool quote? And you go, that guy. He's like, man, you're a smart dude.
What about the most important time travel game of all time, Time Splitters?
Yeah,
Any Time
there's.
Splitters fans?
I'm not big on it just because it never appealed to. I don't know. I didn't get a chance.
I really only
there you go.
played Time Splitters 2 on the PlayStation, but I just remember there was a boss fight where you go in and it's like a console and you try to enter the password on the console and you don't know the password, so then the security bots come out and start attacking you. And like halfway through the fight, a portal just opens and a guy jumps through and it's you and he looks at you and goes, the password's banana. And then a portal opens next to you and you look and you jump through it and then you jump through and then you're just there like fighting the robots and you look at him and go, the password's banana. And then he enters it. Like, I don't know. It's kind of absurd.
Yeah, there was a one of the best things the fourth Monkey Island game, which there wasn't a lot because it was very weird. But you're going through a swamp and you're on this boat and you find this gate that's that you can't pass. But on the other side is a U, and you're like, that's weird. And so you go up to it and go, hey, who are you? And it's like, I'm you from the future. And you go, oh, if that's the case, then what number am I thinking of? And he says a number, and then like you go through a dialogue thing. But then he goes, okay, you'll need this, and he hands you like a key, and then a gun, and then something else, and it's like, and then and you'll be set, and you're like, cool. I have a gun and a key. I don't know what I'm going to use these for, but then you go along, and eventually you find yourself on the other side, and you have to go through the whole dialogue section and do stuff right, or else you accidentally make a giant time paradox and suck
So
you both out of the thing.
you basically have to give yourself the gun and the key to give yourself the gun and the key
Yeah.
Because you don't give yourself the gun and the key.
It's so great because you're just like, the build-up of like, where am I going to use this stuff? It's an adventure game. I don't know. It's probably going to be really weird. And then you go, oh, I just lose it. It's just kind
That
of...
is anticlimactic.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing.
But I will probably have to recommend Steins Gate to...
Yeah, Steins Gate is
Because
so good.
time travel is pretty,
It's
pretty
just-
fun.
I mean, I've been looking for something to get into, so.
Yeah, I definitely recommend watching that anime. It is mind-blowingly good.
I mean, I've just been rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho, but.
Yeah.
that is...
Subbed or dubbed?
Huh? I've actually never watched subbed Yu Yu
I find
Hakusho.
that weird.
Are
That's
the
like
Japanese
some...
voices good?
I don't know. I also have never watched it.
On
All I
a
know is
Steins
that
Gate-
that was the only... One of the few animes that the Justin... He's one of the Yu Yu Hakusho's main character guy was...
Yusuke Urameshi.
Well, that, yeah, his voice actor doesn't do a lot of actual acting. Usually he's just the director. But the last thing I think he was the rapper guy in Beck. So.
Nice.
You told me to look up that once.
What? You didn't see it yet?
No, I almost. Well, because I started to read it. I had downloaded the chapters, but then I lost my iPod.
Right. Anything else?
April Fools.
Oh, you
so
got
does
me.
That mean nothing? Wait, it's April 2nd. So.
Yeah, but yesterday was April Fool's,
You
and a lot of people
fool!
did a lot of things. Example: Google Maps has a Pac-Man mode now. For now, anyway.
For now, or
Yeah.
like for yesterday?
Right? It's still going on now, but it's not like a.
What does that
forever
even
thing.
mean?
Basically, you click on the mode, and it takes a section of where you currently have maps set, and it puts dots on the roads. It puts ghosts on the roads, and you play as Pac-Man, and you go.
That sounds really dangerous.
It is. Did you see that trailer for that Adam Sandler movie?
I guess.
Because that's a
I
thing.
kind of regret seeing that. One of the neat ones, which probably is not going to go very easy over anyone, Daigo Umehara, one of the biggest names in the fighting scene. If you don't know who he is, look up Evo Moment 36, where he like perfect parries like 600 shots from Chun-Li. It's really, really cool. But he's like, I've given up. I've retired from fighting games, and now I am going to be an accountant because it's like fighting games. And so he's got his arcade stick, but it's actually a calculator. It's like just it's got the buttons on it, and like he uses it like he's playing a fighting stick.
Right.
It's amazing. There was a thing called Tekken Cross Lords of Vermilion. Lords of Vermilion being a PSP and Vita card game. I never played it, but and it was all the entire website was in Japanese, so I couldn't really see a lot. But the translated thing said like over 700 characters. And because you see it's like Jin, some Tekken guys, all the cards, and it was just like, well, okay. But other than that, there wasn't really anything I thought was like noteworthy.
They fake announced Lord of the Rings. What's it called? Battle for Middle Earth 3. I can't talk today.
Battle for Middle Earth. Welcome to Earth.
Earth. Yeah. They showed that, and that was fake. Also, Humble Bundle did a bundle.
Oh yeah,
You saw that?
it was kind of meh.
What was it? I can't remember.
Humble Indie Ballyhoo, where they had such games as Stickball, hoop thing that I can't remember.
Running with a
If you
hoop
paid
on
for
a stick.
more, you could get other games. It was okay.
Yeah.
It went for charity, so I guess it gets a pass.
I thought it was funny.
Homestar Runner did a April Fool's thing, which was
Oh?
nice. He answered an email, but not really.
Interesting.
Which,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was about to say, wasn't it Strong Bad? Because I think I saw something posted on a forum about
I'm
it.
pretty
Yeah.
sure I did too.
It was great.
Well, that's it for news. That leaves one thing and one thing only. Deals of the week.
Why
A
was
little
it
more,
necessary to whisper that?
like a little more like menacing.
One more
Deals
and one thing
of the week.
Deals of the week.
Let's super produce that. Let's just be like.
Number one, Battlefield Hardline is $39.99 at Best Buy right now.
Can you say that slower? I didn't hear you.
Battlefield Hardline is $39.99 at Best Buy right now.
That was actually a little bit slower. Can you say it a little bit faster?
No.
I feel like that was like the price it should have been at the start because it
Yeah,
feels
me
like
too.
kind of a budget game.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, if you're into Battlefield and you haven't bought it yet, go buy it. Target is having buy one, get one
Or
50% off on all PlayStation, Xbox, and PC software until April 4th. Also, Amiibos are 25% off right now.
Oh boy, I gotta get on those amiibos.
Go get your commons.
Amiibos.
Go get your commons.
Gonna wait for August for Zero Suit Samus.
Something like that, yeah.
Can't wait for that to be a bad thing.
But
Boy.
Calling it now. Target exclusive. Zero Suit Samus.
Oh, I'm ready.
Ganondorf, Best Buy.
My body is ready.
All right, and last, Amazon still has a PS4 bundle going. $434.99 comes with Bloodborne and The Last of Us Remastered.
No, I don't have money for it. If I had another paycheck on the way, I would maybe consider it. But
I
probably
would
not.
definitely be all over it, but I don't have the money.
Yeah.
Save!
I can't. I just bought a dumb TV. If I didn't buy the dumb TV, then I maybe could get it.
What about the TV is dumb, Mitch?
Well, it's just that we put it in the office for no reason other than to play games.
Now you're telling
That's
everyone.
not a bad thing.
I'm telling. Yeah, sorry, 3 people that will listen to this.
We have an office.
We have an office. I sleep in it sometimes. That's where the only place they let me sleep. Well, anyways.
Yeah, that's all I got. That is Earthang. Anything else we should talk about?
Nah.
Nah.
Well, I'm not a whole discussion piece, but I was wondering in a kind of a game sense, especially considering we were talking about Fallout. It's any excuse to really Fallout. How much of an asshole are you in a game?
I actually have a problem with this. I feel bad being a dick in a game.
We all do.
I feel absolutely horrible.
I try to what's the word here? Like justify it because it's just like they're just pixels, but they do a lot. There's a lot of good games that are just like, man, I feel bad for being a jerk.
Yeah, I mean that's how I am in all the things. Even like something like Dark Souls. You know, after you beat the Bell Gargoyles, you go up to the bell, you ring it, and you come down and the priest is there?
No.
Well, you come back down and there's a priest standing there. I thought he was an enemy at first because there was a note that said bad guy or whatever, so I immediately just took him out and he gave me like this death speech of how I've sinned and I'll never be forgiven.
Wait,
you were
Wait.
Don't you
followed the writing on the ground?
Yes.
Why?
I was a noob.
One of the only messages I wrote in Bloodborne was just in the end of it was like this hallway to a dead end that had nothing in it. So I put a note down. It's like, you're in the know, right? So someone reads it and then it's like, is there a secret here? So they just start hitting walls. I love it.
One of my favorites, as immature as it was because you can only like put like specific phrases. For Dark Souls 2 in the hub world, people would always find creative ways to point out that one of the merchant's boobs were exposed. So you'd always see, look ahead, chest, or something like that.
Oh, the one that always makes me laugh.
I was about to say
is,
the giant lady whose name
Guinevere.
Yeah, it's just like always there's a message. It's like, great chest ahead.
Amazing chest ahead.
Just like, that's funny.
There's an augment in Demon Souls, kind of like the gold resin that makes your weapon electrified, except I think it lights it on fire, and it's called sticky white stuff. And you go, and what the thing is that usually happens is that in the blacksmith's place, he has a bed, and usually people are right next to it. Sticky white stuff. It's I heard all of your.
But back to your topic,
noises.
yeah, I have a very hard time being a dick in a game. I went out of my way to platinum Infamous Second Son on the PS4, and in order to do that, you have to do both the good path and the bad path.
Right.
In order to do the bad path, you have to be a total douche.
Yeah.
You have to go out of your way to be a douche. And I'm like, why? Why?
I think I tried doing that in the first Infamous. I was like, oh, well, all I got left is all the evil things. And I like started and went, man, I don't like this.
Even little things, though, like, I mean, you play Dragon's Dogma. Whenever you get to Granzies, the first, well, not the first, Fornival. He's like a guy and he owns a house and he's trying to kick people out of it.
Yeah.
And, like, you start the quest and at first you're just like, yeah, I'll kick him out. And then you start talking to him. And then I didn't even have the money to buy it. But then I sold a bunch of stuff so I could buy the deeds so I could not kick them out.
That's something.
Wow.
Because I was too far. Like I had talked to him first.
Right.
First, so I
another good example.
I did try in Fallout 3. I just like tried to be as evil as possible, which it didn't really go very far. But at least the one thing that I remember doing is that instead of just nuking Megaton, I waited until I was until I had the level to collect ears or thing. I think was the evil thing. And then just gunned everyone down in the town.
But I like that if you nuke Megaton, Moira will still like be there wandering around.
I think that's just because of the quest she has.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Another example, Skyrim. The blades, when they ask you to kill...
Couldn't do it.
Nope.
I was
can't
like,
do it.
fuck you not being a blade anymore.
When they tell you to kill Parthenox, I was like, sorry, quest line over. Nope.
nah.
I think there's there's mods out now that can work around it. Obviously, there's mods for everything. But,
Speaking of New Vegas, still, I did try for like the fifth or sixth time. I did try playing as a melee evil character on New Vegas, and I got like halfway through the game, but I kind of like I half lost interest mainly because I was on very hard mode and I was getting decimated frequently.
Even if I tried to play a character that wasn't like or totally awful, I never helped the powder gangers like at the start.
Really?
Like I always defended the town.
I helped them out once because there's an experience glitch if you do it, and that was on my evil campaign. I figured I'd do it and milk it.
But I always like take care of the powder gangers or like do that thing where you blow up the place and kill the guys.
My game actually glitched though because every time I've done that quest, whenever I after I killed the powder gangers and defended Good Springs, every powder ganger attacked me on sight. But the game I'm actually in right now, they're not attacking me on sight, and so I was actually able to do the Instar Correctional Facility quest like all the way through, and I'm really excited because I'm not doing a bad campaign, and I'm going to be able to hopefully do the quest with Cook and the rest of the powder gangers all the way through.
I don't think that the guys in the vaults or whatever, I don't think they are affiliated with the powder gangers.
They're the people that started the powder gangers.
Right, but I don't think that if you're in bad form with them, then they don't attack you.
The only time I even knew about them or found them was on my evil campaign. So
yeah.
I actually, for the first bit of that, I did roleplay as a powder ganger. I wore the powder ganger armor, and then I just had an obnoxious amount of dynamite. And every time I found someone, I would just chuck dynamite at them until they died.
I love that there's a challenge in the Gunrunner's arsenal that's like kill cazadors with long fuse dynamite and stuff like that. Like they have really hard challenges
that is the
that are like
manliest thing you can do in that game.
Yeah, I think there's also some for like kill Deathclaws with brass knuckles, and I'm like I don't.
Because they ignore so much DT. But I guess if you ignore DT and had a high enough DT, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
That'd be like level 50.
Enough medics and Psycho. I think that's it.
All right, I think we're done.
Cleared out.
That's the way.
Have some medics and Psycho.
As stated
but don't
earlier,
have what medics and Psycho is a substitute for.
My name is Brian. You can follow me on Twitter at McBribri.
I'm Mitchell. You can follow me at Maelstrom Tear, Tear.
I'm Randy, and you can mail your pigeons to. I actually don't know where people mail. Where do people mail pigeons?
You don't
where
mail
do they send
a pigeon.
Whoa! You send. Oh, please don't send me a box with a pigeon in it. You can toss it out the window. God. Toss the pigeon out the window with a little note on its ankle, and I guarantee it will not find
50% of the time.
Yeah, most likely.
It will probably land.
So 50% of the time, it works every time.
So instead of sending a bird to you, can they just send a tweet to you instead?
What's a tweet?
What's your Twitter?
What's Twitter?
Damn it! It's just Randy, I guess.
Damn it!
Well, all right. Fuck it.
You can follow Randy at Randy, I guess, on Twitter. Also, make sure to follow the podcast at FOROA Podcast.
I don't know why I got off.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like and comment on this video. We want to hear from you guys. And like us on Facebook because we have that too.
Or else.
Thanks for listening and goodbye.
Outro music.
Obladi oblada.